So we're off. So we got Concrete Man on MrCab's end, and we got Splash Woman on Infinite Mystery's end. So for MrCab and for most veteran runners of the game, you're probably going to see Concrete Man first a lot because the weapon you get for his state is probably one of the best, if not the best weapon in this game. The concrete shot is really, really versatile and it's going to be used throughout the run. Not to mention, concrete stage is probably one of the stages where you're going to be using the least amount of utilities and weapons. So it's probably one of the best stages to go first. Meanwhile, for Infinite Mystery, he's doing Splash Woman, which probably in the general casual route, this will probably be the one of the easier stages to go to. It's a pretty straightforward stage, maybe a little bit dangerous with some spikes in the way here and there. But Splash Woman herself does take double damage from the Buster, so Splash Woman is usually a good starting choice if you're starting out on the game.
Yeah, I totally agree about everything you just said. One thing is, Infinite Mystery is now coming up to a section in a Splash Woman stage that's never been seen in a Mega Man before, not once.
Yeah, not to my knowledge. So yeah, Infinite Mystery is doing the bubble sections that was similar to Wave Man stage in Mega Man 5 as MrCab skillfully goes to Concrete Man stage and about to fight Concrete Man himself. So for the concrete fight, we're hoping him not to jump so much. That's only one. We don't want to see, oh boy. We're getting a little bit of a jumpy concrete. But yeah, we want to see Concrete Man stay on the ground as much as possible so Cab can plug in as many buster shots as possible. Right now, this is not the best pattern for Cab, but he's able to take care of Concrete Man skillfully enough.
Yeah, you got to do a bit of a dance with Concrete Man, but took care of it well enough.
Meanwhile, Infinite Mystery is taking care of the moving platforms, which are on a timer. You want to get off of these as quickly as possible so you don't wind up falling off to restart the cycle all over again, or in some cases like the past two screens falling to some spikes and you could be in for a rough time.
Yep. It looks like MrCab is going to Magma Man next, which is another weapon that's pretty versatile, but one of our goals as we go through this game is to get to Rush Jet as quick as possible. And Magma Man is a stage where we're going to see concrete a lot, but it doesn't necessarily need Rush Jet.
Yes, routing around the Rush Jet is probably one of the most important things in this run. So what you're going to see MrCab do throughout, at least in his run, he's going to go to the stages where you're probably going to use Rush Jet the least. And by the after the fifth stage, the last three stages are going to be using Rush Jet since you're getting Rush Jet after the fifth Robot Master. Meanwhile, Infinite Mystery doing a 1 HP clutch on Splash Woman. Very nicely done as he finished his first Robot Master.
Yeah, well done there. Alright, so we're coming up to a section in Magma Man stage where we're going to see MrCab really use that concrete shot to plug up these little lava jets that have been throughout this earlier in the stage to get through them a little faster than instead of having to wait for every single one coming.
MrCab decides to forego trying to do a little zip with that one particular magma beam. You can clip through it with a well-timed concrete shot, but it's very dangerous. You don't want to get too close and die, and oftentimes you're probably too far and wind up being blocked off anyway. So wise on MrCab to not to go for it.
Yeah, especially in a race setting, you don't want to die there, having used up all your concrete shots, and then go back essentially to full screen.
So MrCab is doing Magma Man Buster only. We normally would like to have Tornado Hold, not Tornado Hold, but Tornado Blow. But what the current routing is best for MrCab to do this stage as early as possible. Besides, you will not have enough tornado blow to finish off Magma-Man anyway. So right now, Buster is the way to go for at least this stretch of the route.
Yeah, the other thing about doing this particular route is after you do Magma Man, you pretty much have an option of going to one place or another, and it looks like Mr. Cab is choosing to go to Hornet Man next.
Keeping an eye on Infinite Mystery, doing these 3 elephant mini bosses, I want to say Palzos is their official name, but you would normally like to go through and mash against these guys, just go all out, but Infinite Mystery decided to take it and say which is wise, especially in this particular area, since there are pitfalls. You don't want to get into a situation where you be careless and just instantly fall off and wind up going way back to the beginning, because you do got to go through all 3 of those elephant robots before getting to the midpoint.
Yeah, plus those elephants hurt a lot, so don't want to die there. Looks like we got the best plant, and down it goes in 6 shots.
Yep, God's flower. So, as for the particular routing, as Siberian Bull said, you get the choice between either going to Hornet Man or Galaxy Man, because you actually do have both their weaknesses. It's usually preference.
Ooh, that's rough.
Well, fortunately, he's not too far away from the checkpoint, but that's what Mega Man 9 is as far as the speedrun goes. It is a very volatile game, very dangerous in terms of platforming, lots of spikes everywhere, pitfalls, enemy placements can be a little trolly. Just about any death can set you far back. Fortunately for Mr. Cab, the death he sustained was fairly light in comparison to what could be in later portions of the game.
Yeah, fortunately, like you said, it's not a death where you're sent too far back. It's pretty much the previous screen. But it's still a long screen to get through. But we're coming up to Hornet Man. We got the Magma Bazooka out. And the thing about the Magma Bazooka, you can charge it, and all 3 shots, if they hit their target, will do damage. All 3 shots will do their very specific damage.
Yeah, one of the few Mega Man weapons that can actually stack for something like that, as Infinite Mystery takes out Concrete Man with the laser trident, which is Concrete Man's weakness. So right now we got Infinite Mystery going on to his 3rd Robot Master in Galaxy Man. Mr. Cat will follow suit, but he will be a Robot Master ahead.
Yeah. Now, doesn't look like Infinite Mystery is going to use it yet, but the one thing about Galaxy Man stage is it was designed for Rush Coil, so we'll be seeing a lot of Rush Coil here in a moment.
Infinite Mystery taking the ladders to get to safer portions, ignoring the spikes. Mr. Cat might do damage boosts. Yes, he does. He's gonna do a few damage boosts so he can ignore at least a couple of ladders.
Yep. And here we go. Mr. Cab does pull out the Rush Coil, and like I said, this stage was meant for Rush Coil, as we pretty much use it through the majority of the stage until the last screen before the ball stores, as it just makes the stage a little bit faster outside of, these copters pushing you.
Well, of course, you also got the helicopter enemies that Mr. Cab was utilizing to go through these stretches of screens faster. Infinite Mystery opting to ignore them, because one of the things about these helicopter enemies, they are designed to drag you right into the spikes. So Infinite Mystery is taking it safe, while Mr. Cab is taking it a little bit on the wild side, utilizing the helicopter enemies to go through those screens faster. So for right now, we got Infinite Mystery reaching the midpoint, while Mr. Cab is a few screens away towards Galaxy Man, but there's still a few more notable sections to go through before we actually reach Galaxy Man's door.
Now let's see, in a couple screens here, there's a copter enemy that's on the left side of the screen. Let's see if Mr. Crab grabs that copter to get through, and looks like he is. This will get you through faster, but if you're not quick enough, as you can see right there, he'll take you right into those spikes. And he gets the concrete shot boost, and he's right in the door.
So, Galaxy Man, we do not want him to fly. We want him to do what we like to go 1, and he winds up flying anyway. But what we would like to see from Galaxy Man in both fights, Infinite Mystery getting caught by one of those helicopter enemies, being sent back a little bit. But on MrCab's side, we wanted to see Galaxy Man do what we like to call 2 swoops. That is the fastest possible pattern that Galaxy Man can make, so Mega Man can kill him as fast as possible. Of course, we only see 1 swoop, but it was still a solid fight on Cab's side. Alright, so now we're gonna go to Jewel Man stage. Jewel Man stage is probably one of the more intensive stages, and the last Robot Master stage before we get Rush Jet. This is MrCab's 5th Robot Master, and after the 5th Robot Master, as we mentioned at the beginning, Rush Jet will be available afterwards.
Now, in the middle of this stage, we got what we like to call the cheese puff ball, and one of the reasons with the Hornet in the order we do is because the Hornets will find that cheese puff ball and knock them out of the ceiling, where you can either switch to concrete and hit it with 6 shots and kill him, or switch to magma, which also will quick kill the cheese puff ball. But let's see what MrCab does here.
Not too bad of a placement. We want the cheese ball to be on the second to last side on the right for the fastest possible fight, but where the cheese puff spawn was literally the middle of the road. Infinite Mystery taking out Galaxy Man is about to follow suit, going to Jewel Man stage.
I could never do that. The fact that some of these runners do that impresses me to no end.
This stage is nuts in how his level design works. A lot of spikes everywhere, and even before the mid-boss, there are a literal wall of spikes that can just kill the unsuspecting player if they jump too high or too close.
Mostly too close, because if you jump, you gotta delay that jump just to get to the door. And MrCab got the 2 black holes on Jewel Man.
Yep, Jewel Man is 100% manipulable. As long as you jump, he'll jump. So if you manage to use your black hole bombs properly, you should be able to kill him within 2 black hole bombs. Hitting him multiple times per each black hole.
Alright, so with that, MrCab has got his Rush Jet, and we are off to Plugman stage. So Plugman stage is a long and annoying stage. We're glad we have that Rush Jet now, because we're going to be putting that to pretty much immediate use in a couple screens here, as we're going to be using that to ignore as many Yoko blocks as we can.
To make the Plugman stage even more interesting, this stage is based on a global timer. So if you wind up being slow in any portion of this stage, whether right here or another Yoku section coming up after, you're pretty much gonna be behind on the Yoku cycles. So you need to be on point on your movement and your Rush Jet usage. This is what we like to call the perfect plug, where you're able to move throughout the entire stage literally perfectly in sync with the stage global timer.
And looks like MrCab wants that E-tank up there before moving on, so he may be all cycle now.
Well, in this case, considering how dangerous this game is, it's really smart to have that safety. There are stages ahead that can really cause a lot of issues. So taking that safety E-tank is pretty wise in a race setting.
Well, it wasn't too bad because there was the end of that cycle, so it gets to wait just a little bit, not too long.
Big Mama, that legendary jump where you can jump over the Big Eye, or quote unquote Big Mama.
All right, so here's Plug Man. We have Jewel Satellite, Jewel Satellite's shield, and you plug away with all the shots as it'll kill him pretty quickly, just like that.
I'm not going to dignify that quote with a true response, because I know what you just did.
Oh, don't worry. These folks was here with me last Tuesday when I used that pun.
But yeah, with the Jewel Satellite, you got exact energy in order to kill Plugman. So 7 shots, 7 hits, Plugman goes down. Of course, if you miss a hit, you can use Magma Bazooka as a backup since it does stack about 2 damage per shot. So now we're up for MrCab. We're going to a Tornado Man stage. Tornado Man stage has a lot of annoying platforming. You see that little red and blue log? Those magnetic platforms, yeah, we're gonna skip them. They're pretty annoying to try to navigate, especially with spikes in the way, and they're actually move slower than the Rush Jet as well. So of course, Rush Jet, you're gonna skip it all with Rush Jet.
Also, this is the tamer section of the stage. Later on, when we get to weather effects, it's just even worse. So, Rush Jet, it's important.
Infinite Mystery still starting off on Plugman stage. Gonna see how the global time is gonna be affecting him.
Yeah, especially since since this is actually his 5th Robot Master as it is. So he will not be traversing with Rush Jet, so he's going to actually be doing all the blocks.
Yeah, looks like Infinite Mystery is going in weakness order, so unfortunately he will not have the jet to make this stage faster. Speaking of things being faster, on MrCab's end, as what Siberian was talking about, we got our weather physics going into full play. Right now we're in the rain. As the rain is pushing towards Mega Man, we want Mega Man to be mostly grounded because the direction of the wind is gonna wind up affecting Mega Man's jump speed. Like here, where instead of wanting to be on the ground, you actually want to be in the air because the wind is actually helping Mega Man. So you want to be in the air as much as possible as the wind boosts your speed as MrCab is about to fight what could possibly be Tornado Bro.
Yeah, Tornado Bro can help us out and be right in the right spot. And he moved once, but I think that's too bad. No damage, so you know what? He's broing up.
Yeah, Tornado Man is one of those bosses that can be really annoying to fight only because of the fact that he can fly in positions where the plug ball, which is mostly a ground-based weapon, yeah, you can't really reach him if he's stuck in the air. So that's a generally favorable RNG for MrCab to get against him.
It looks like we are going to Splash Woman last. This will be his 8th Robot Master. And, well, it's a very... And we already talked about this stage earlier as Infinite Mystery goes through it, as they're pretty much not a whole lot.
Well, compared to Infinite Mystery, having to do this stage first, the routing that MrCab has done, there's going to be a lot of help to make this stage faster now that MrCab has a few more utilities on his side. For this stage, having Rush Jet is a pretty good acquisition to have because in a little bit, MrCab is going to be utilizing it to make longer sections much faster, especially sections like here. So what MrCab is going to be using, he's going to be using the Rush Jet and the smaller, shorter lasting bubbles to get through these areas much faster in comparison to Infinite Mystery. kind of missed that first small bubble to make that area faster, but he utilized the second one and still managed to back up the stage pretty well.
All right, so it looks like Infinite Mystery got his rush jet, and he's off the Tornado Man next.
MrCab having a little bit of issue with these floating platform sections, which of course you're gonna try to cheese Mr. Rush Jet as well.
Looks like he didn't get hit his height, so MrCab decided to get safe there in the middle section.
Infinite Mystery getting Rush Jet prepped and ready. Deciding to ride a little bit on these. As you can see, he's doing a lot of jumping. What those magnetic batteries are going to do, they actually will flip Mega Man upside down and just rotates him up and down.
And he missed.
And this is why we would like to usually do Rush Jet in that section. It's a very annoying platforming section. And if you got Rush Jet, we just say no to it.
Just say no.
Meanwhile, MrCab quickly taking out Splash Woman with the Hornet Chaser. That's 8 robots on his end. He should be going to Wily 1 very shortly. Look like Infinite's gonna try to navigate these magnetic platforms again. Looks like he's taking better care this time around. He's still got quite a ways to go. It's a very tense moment. This is not comfortable.
So while he's handling that, looks like MrCab is about to start his Wily stages. So yeah, that rush jet we're talking about getting its uses, we're gonna see more of it.
Well, first, MrCab ought to use the Jewel Satellite. We'll see some brothers use the Buster to save a menu, but using the Jewel Satellite here, in which Jewel Satellite is probably one of the best shields in the game, and just literally run through those first stretches of enemies before utilizing the Rush Jet in these particular screens.
Yeah, so the game intends for you to use Tornado to get those platforms to move up, but we have Rush Jet, so why bother? And Tornado costs a lot, so double no.
So MrCab is coming close upon the Chanky Dragon. We're going to see what kind of method MrCab uses to take him out. There are a few different ways to do it. He decides to stay grounded and plug a lot of concrete shots on him. Some people use coil and try to jump up and cancel to concrete shot to take out the Chanky Dragon in the air. Other skillful players will actually keep the jet in tow and just Buster Mash. MrCab coming slowly towards our boss door. Got a few more platforming acquisitions to take care of. Of course, Rush Jet being in the sole focus of these areas.
Well, all right. So we're coming up to a boss that makes I don't know about you, but it makes my thumbs hurt with all the mashing that's going to be happening.
And the thing about it is, mashing is not what you're supposed to be doing. So the Spike Pushers is probably one of the most annoying bosses in Mega Man history. You're pretty much dealing with a whole bunch of enemies that are pushing these spike balls, which are instant kill, by the way, and you got to use these balls to destroy each and every robot that appears. And what you're supposed to do is more of a rhythmic mash. If you're purely mashing, there will be some instances where you will not be pushing the spike balls at all. You could see some runners using some weapons like Club Ball, maybe Tornado Blow, to take care of them and try to get through this area faster. But sometimes you just got to use the Buster and just rhythmically mash in order to do what Cab did and absolutely destroy them. Otherwise, this is a really annoying boss fight.
Yeah, I think it was very close there. I think it was one shot away from the projectiles from getting killed. But well done on MrCab there. So, Wily 2 is infamous as in it's long and people die here for dumb reasons.
Yeah, this stage has a lot of tight jumps and a lot of spikes. There are quite a few places where you can die very quickly and very easily here. So Mr. Cab is using damage boost and gonna be using Rush Jet, which is mostly I'll go to navigate some of these areas, of course, with some concrete shot here and there to make some of these enemies disappear and make some of the platforming more convenient. Of course, there are some areas where platforming isn't convenient, like this jump.
And we got the worst flower.
Well, there are worse places where the flower can spawn, but that is definitely not a favorable position for the flower to be, as Infinite Mystery unfortunately takes a death in Magma Man stage. Gotta go straight back to the beginning. Use your trident to get these mine enemies to activate faster so they can be out of Mr. Cat's way as he goes through more of the stage.
I will say, of all the Mega Mans, the Trident's the most interesting one to destroy walls with.
Yeah, it's not like your typical explosive device. Probably the only weapon that probably would be just as intriguing would be Hard Knuckle, but Hard Knuckle makes sense for destroying barriers. Okay, so let's see. Mr. Cow's able to. There we go. Good position. Yeah, that's usually a spot where runners would like to use the rush coil to try to avoid climbing. The vertical speed of using the rush coil is definitely faster than actually doing the act of climbing these ladders.
Alright, so we're coming up to the Jet Shark. I don't exactly know its name off the top of my head, but it's in 3 parts. So all 3 parts are weak to the Trident, and the back part works where you destroy all the missiles, its fin opens up, and you shoot away.
The second part, you're going to be doing some alternating left and right while using the laser trident. You can use Tornado Blow to destroy them, but there are other places where Tornado Blow is going to be useful, and you're probably going to see Trident used anyway. Of course, the mouth is weak to whenever his mouth is open. Avoid the laser shots, which does quite a bit of damage, and you're pretty much good to go. So, good job on Mr. Cab's in as he goes to Wily 3. Infinite trying to be careful on these very deadly jumps in Magma before he goes to the Magma door. Okay, so Wily 3, this is probably the general gimmick of Wily 3. These slow-moving, vertical rising, resident sleeping inducing, gravity lifting area, where it's basically a really slow auto-scroller, where the only means to move left and right is to use the Buster as a source of momentum to move. There are enemies in the way, but for the first part, it's really tame.
Yeah, and we did get our verification jig, so Mr. Cab's good to go. Alright, so we're coming up to our second vertical section here in a moment. What's the main thing? The main thing we want to do is in the second vertical section is our M tank for the seed for the race, I should say, you can get it one of 2 ways. You can bust yourself open, or there's this little copter enemy that we saw earlier in Galaxy Man stage that will carry us over, and that's much easier because if we just bust ourselves open, instead of taking the copter, that copter will still be sitting there. And when you bust her over to try and grab this ladder, it's almost into death because of spikes.
So of course we still can't really count this stage out. This stage is notorious for some very rough platforming, especially with spikes on the ceilings. What MrCab is doing, he's going to use laser trident to go through the rest of the stage, but there are some runners that will probably use tornado blow as well. But as you can see, there are spikes on the ceiling, and one of the effects of the tornado blow is the fact that the tornado blow actually augments your jump height. So if you use tornado blow in this section, you will run the risk of taking a hit on those spikes and dying, which will be very bad, as it will take you right before the second gravity lifting area.
Oh, so this section is full of lives, because I'm pretty sure all of us doing this casually saw those one-ups on the floor. It's like, all right, cool, and then get shot by a net.
Alright, so let's see if Cab is able to perform what we would like to call this game's version of the Easy Devil. So he's going to position a black hole bomb in such a way and going to use a lot of pause canceling in a rhythmic succession, and hopefully he seems on pace. There we go. Easy
Nice.
every time.
Yes, easy every time until you don't do it. Then you have to do a two cycle.
Infinite taking a nasty death on the flower, and that is very bad. That is right before the midpoint, so Infinite's got to go all the way back. This is one of the things that makes Mega Man 9 very, very dangerous as a speed game.
Yeah, Mega Man 9 does not exactly have a lot of checkpoints in it. They're few and far in between.
Where they're their usual general one checkpoint per stage, but it's just the fact that these stages can either be long or very dangerous to traverse, where just any wrong move can just send you back so far.
Alright, so MrCab's about to start his refights. He got his refill of concrete, and we're starting on Galaxy.
Let's see if Galaxy is going to be a little kinder than the first match. And he's even worse. No swoops at all, just straight to the air.
Yeah, so MrCab was hoping not to see the black hole there. Twice, in fact, because we want to be able to use that concrete shot for the Wily machine second part. But, you know, it is what it is. Galaxy Man being a jerk.
So you're pretty much going to see similar boss fights. You're going to see similar weapons. So, of course, Jewel Satellite, exact damage against Plugman. Don't drop a shot. And down goes the Plug.
Alright, let's see if we get Tornado Road 2.
Because it's a good start.
It was okay, but a couple of those shots got eaten, so it was good enough.
Yeah, Tornado Man was mostly bro-ish. Meanwhile, for Magma Man, we discussed this a little bit before, but yes, there usually isn't enough energy to completely defeat Magma Man, as you have some energy left. So MrCab went straight to the Magma Bazooka to finish Magma Man off, but also has the added benefit to already have the weapon available to take out Hornet Man, which he just did.
Alright, so let's do it again. 2 black hole bombs, and for the perfect jewel, and yep.
Splash Woman next on the refight cycle. Get the Hornet Chaser and just pretty much just let the Hornet Chaser do his work. If the Hornet Chaser decides to be kind of course. Sometimes the Hornets can have their own trajectories, especially since Splash Woman fires a lot of fishes that the Hornets feel so eager to chase after as well.
Alright, so we actually have the Trident this time to take on Concrete Man, and it has the added benefit of, you know, doing more than 1 damage. All right, so you folks came for what you really wanted to see, and that's a tennis match. As we're going to be knocking these eggs back into the dinosaur's mouth here in a moment. So ideally, you want to really jam the eggs into the Wily Machine's jaw there, as it's the only way to do damage. It looks like MrCab's got a good rhythm as it is, so this be a quick section. Now we're going to switch to Concrete Shot, as we have just enough to take down the second part of the...
Yeah, of course, the jaw being the weakness yet again, but there are some particular instances where you don't want to see Wally do specific things, like go in the air just like that. But MrCab is able to make quick work of the second phase. But now the moment we're all waiting for. Let's see if the Wily Casino in this capsule fight gets kind and give MrCab a quick fight.
I would say that second part was really kind. Wow. Wow.
That's a decent capsule considering.
All right, so MrCab finishes with a time of 35:51. But yeah, that capsule was really kind, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, the Wally capsule in this game is one of the most notorious capsules in the Mega Man series, because it's mostly because of the weakness. The plug ball, as we mentioned before, is strictly a ground-based weapon. You're pretty much forced to wait to see if Dr. Wily is able to be on the ground close enough for the plug ball to even hit. And a majority of the time, he's gonna be sky high. And this is why we like to call it the Wily Casino, because strictly RNG dictates whether you get a jackpot and he comes low, or you get like a good stretch of parts and then the cherry to screw you up.
And we didn't see it in that fight, but sometimes the capsule likes to juke you. It's like, hey, I'm appearing low. Psych, I'm going to be up top.
Yeah, the capsule is extremely troll like that. Meanwhile, we got Infinite Mystery starting his... not a good start, though, as he begins his assault on Wally's castle in Wally 1. But as you can see, this is why MrCab would use the dual satellite. There are a lot of annoying enemies on these first stretches of screens. As you can see, these birds, these enemies that comes out of pits. There is just a lot of annoying enemies to show you that since this was the first Mega Man game in quite some time, returning back to its retro roots, this game, Mega Man, was back and it meant business.
Yeah, so it was definitely meant for, I would say, more veteran players. It was definitely not kind to newer players.
Infinite Mystery showcasing the projected use, or the initial use, of these platforms, using the tornado blow to make these platform rise so it can get to each section. But yeah, Infinite Mystery, I'm gonna say this right now. I love seeing Infinite Mystery play, because Infinite Mystery is the kind of player that just likes to run games. He doesn't care if he's the best, or he doesn't care if he's not as good as some other players. He just likes to play games for the sake of playing games and for the sake of racing. Infinite Mystery is just he's just one of my favorite players to watch, regardless of skill level. MrCab doing some plugging. Of course, follow our runners. They are taking their time out of their schedule to perform this tournament match for the folks, for you people. So please continue to support Speed Gaming, as that is our channel home for the Mega Man 9 Go for Broke tournament. Look, Infinite's gonna do some farming. He's doesn't seem comfortable with his ammo count. Looks like he got the energy balancer from the shop, so he's using that to refill his energy. Well, his weapon energy rather. Deciding to use the rush coil to navigate beyond the magma jets, and now going to use the concrete shot, which we saw in Magma Man stage. It has the properties of freezing the magma jets in place, so it can traverse the area safely.
I will say, the Hornets have this interesting property of grabbing just about any item that's on screen. I just wish it would grab the E-tanks.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting dynamic that the Hornets don't grab literally everything that's around, because there was the E-tank a little bit away where Infinite just passed. It was in prime position to get a Hornet to grab it, and of course it just won't grab for whatever programming reason.
Now, in this stage earlier, you saw an extra life up top. The Hornet will grab that, but it won't grab an E-tank.
So yeah, what you see Infinite doing, that's probably the ideal steady mash. You do not want to overmash. There are instances where if you overmash and try to mash too hard, the buster will not read as hitting the spike ball and will just eat a shot. It also doesn't help that there are some of these enemies that can push back these balls and just make your life trying to push them back a living nightmare. Anyways, we got Infinite Mystery taking out the spike pushers, and he's on his way to Wally 2. All right, I might as well ask the question since it's around the area, because I know we got a lot of fans of the Mega Man 9 soundtrack. So, top track, what is it? For people in the chat, and of course for you, Siberian, favorite track?
For me personally, my favorite track is on Jewel Man stage.
Jewel Man's a good choice. Personally, I'm one of those guys that there's an underrated track that I don't hear people talk about. I love Magma Man's theme. Magma Man is probably my favorite theme out of at least the 8 Robos, but no one really talks about Magma Man. It's usually either Jewel is usually a choice, Tornado Man is usually a choice, especially since it was the demo theme or the promotional video theme. And of course, you also got, let's see, what else is usually talked about? Splash Woman.
And the fact that they took the time to make 4 different Wily stage themes, and all 4 of them are really good.
Wally 2 is probably my overall favorite, but I'm glad Brooke Dion said something, because Wally 3 is probably a sleeper. Wally 3 is a sleeper as far as one of my favorites. I like Strange World. I like it more than Wally 1. I know there probably people gonna be adding me because Wally 1 is the next generation Mega Man 2 Wally 1, but I'm sorry, I still would take Wally 3 over this game's Wally 1.
I can agree with that.
But yeah, Infinite Mystery having a little bit of interest, flower luck as he continues on through the rest of Wally 2. Polly, the thing about Wally 2 that we really didn't get to discuss, especially since Cabs just blew right through the area, this stage has some really tight underwater jumps.
Yeah, Wily 2 is one of the more annoying stages in this game, as it's pretty much a giant death trap. You got those little projection enemies earlier that create that quote unquote create platforms, but they're not really there. So if you don't have an idea where things are in that stage, you could easily get lost.
Yeah, and Infinite Mystery is taking on two of the most dangerous jumps. These 2 tile high jumps, they are very easy to bonk your head on and can easily die. Infinite Mystery doing very well to get by these sections. Carefully, of course, but carefully also means you're living. So we got Infinite Mystery going on to this upcoming vertical section. Probably going to be naturally climbing through these areas. You saw Mr. Cab use the rush coil to get to that vertical transition screen a little faster, but sometimes it can be very easy to misfire your rush coil and put your rush coil out of position in order to use it to get to the highest point faster. So in some cases, it's a little bit of a risk reward as far as time save goes to use coil in these particular sections. Infinite Mystery about to take on the Mega Mech Shark.
He used a lot of tornado in the stage, so I don't think we'll be seeing too much of that in the middle section. It won't finish off the middle section. Looks like we're gonna see the bazooka.
Bazooka doing quite a bit of work. Is dealing double damage to the under portions of the Mega Mech Shark in this particular phase. So if you're looking for a secondary weakness, try Magma Bazooka. If you're not comfortable with using the Laser Trident or don't have enough Tornado Blow.
I wonder how much damage it does as a full charge.
Infinite Mystery taking down the shark, and he's on his way to Wily 3. So, as we mentioned before, Wily 3, definitely one of the more Resident Sleeper stages, but of course also a stage not to be slept on. So, of course, as you saw earlier, we got this little floating gravity section that's very slow, and you're using the buster to gain momentum to move left and right. You have 2 sections of these. This is the more tamer one with the little floating devils being the only major enemy in the area.
Yeah, like you could literally just hang on the left side, and when you get to the top, just bust yourself over to the ladder.
So again, the reason why this stage is not to be slept on, even after our Resident Sleeper portion in this section, this stage is dangerous with its jumps and its spike placement. This is probably some of the most devious spike placements in the entire game. Probably Jewel Man will probably come close as far as 8 Robos, as far as very devious spike placement, while Wily 3 is probably the most devious in the 4 sets of Wily stages.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. The annoying part about Wily 4 is just for the lasers, but that's minor.
Infinite Mystery showing the OP-ness of the dual satellite, pretty much just reflecting the Sniper Joe's rapid fire shots right back at him. Probably the reason why the dual satellite is probably the best shield weapon in a series where shield weapons you don't talk much about shield weapons in Mega Man games.
No, you don't.
Infinite trying to take care of his positioning as he floats up to the top of the screen, gets his M tank, and now goes by Parley. Oh, he missed the ladder.
Yeah, you don't want to rush that as you're just trying to get a hold of that ladder. You gotta take it slow when you get up there. Then that's just my opinion.
And this, yet again, this is one of the reasons why Mega Man 9 is probably one of the most punishing when it comes to taking a death. You got to go through some of the most tedious and annoying stage positions all over again. So let's see if it takes a little bit more care. He took it really safe this time. But he is able to get his ladder grab and decides to get the E-Tank, not the E-Tank, but the extra life as well.
Yeah, I decided he was gonna get it back.
Infinite taking his time using the Buster to go through what is quite possibly one of the most dangerous stretches in the Wily stages. Lots of dangerous pitfalls, enemies in very annoying positions. Of course, you got spikes on the ceiling. Wily 3 is a death trap of a stage.
Just like that.
Point.
Point taken.
Infinite's still going though. I just love Infinite. He is just willing to finish. Well, most of the time, is willing to finish the race in spite of whatever is thrown at him. Seriously, give it up for Infinite Mystery as he continues to go through this game, this very, very rough game. Plug our runners yet again. Be sure to follow both our runners. Pretty sure Infinite is taking it extra careful as he doesn't want to get into position where he dies yet again, but not sure where his life count is at this point. Because a game over at this point would be even more devastating. Very intelligent use of the dual satellite. And he's closing in on the Twin Devil.
5.
So Infinite is well stacked on lives. Alright, so we got Infinite Mystery taking on the Twin Devil. We're going to see how many loops is going to take Infinite Mystery to go through it. Well, he decided to take a tactical death to refill his energy. Guess he doesn't have any energy tanks.
I thought he bought 3. Yeah, he's got 3, counting the M tank. So two E's, 1 M.
Then he probably wants to save it for the final boss rush, which is a marathon in and of itself. You know, to be fair, I really never counted how many loops it normally takes if you do one black hole bomb per pass. A little bit of a personal reminder to see how many passes it takes.
Well, let's see. How many shots does it take to kill a devil? So 5 passes.
Yeah, Mr. Cow bringing out the information as well. You see these things so much, you kind of forget the general gist of some boss fights because you see how many shots the black hole bombs you need to kill, but you mostly focus on the passes in the speed run because you mostly want to have one pass to get the easy devil kill. So we got one more pass.
Oof, gotta be careful. But I think he can only take one more hit, I think. Or it might be death if he takes... There we go, though.
5 passes, 5 black hole bomb, easy devil. I mean, not easy devil. Well, it was easy enough for...
It's casual devil at this point.
Don't mind me. When you say easy devil so many times in these kinds of settings, it's just natural to just say it on casual instinct.
No, I hear that.
But yeah, Wally 4, this, like as I was saying before, this stage is a marathon in and of itself because of the simple fact of not only you got to go through a relatively lengthy stage for a stage that will lead to a boss rush, but of course, that said, you got the boss rush in itself, and you got a 3-phase Wally fight even after that, where you probably, in most cases, your weapon energy is completely strapped. Infinite assessing his energy situation. And opts to refill the tornado blow for his weapon of choice to refill. And Infinite Mystery opts to go to Splash Woman first for his round of boss refights. But yeah, you see how the Hornets tend to just go in wild directions sometimes? That's probably the main caveat of using Hornet Chaser in this particular fight, because in some cases the Hornets will prioritize the fish rather than prioritize Splash Woman. And there goes we got 3 swoops! We got the rare triple.
I believe we did see the 3 earlier in this tournament.
Galaxy Man taken out on Infinite Sin, and now he goes to Concrete. Let's see what kind of luck Concrete gives Infinite. He's currently grounded for now. Probably around average luck. He did jump quite a bit of times, but it was only matched by an equal amount of time that Concrete was standing on the ground. Needing 3 black hole bombs to take out Jewel Man. Utilizing the gimmick that Jewel Man jumps when you jump.
All right, Hornet Man going down in a flash. We're off to Magma Man next. I don't know. Yeah, he's got to switch back to Buster. Sometimes I forget the fact that Tornado doesn't, kill Magma Man when you use all the energy.
Well, there is a means to kill him in 4 shots, the full tornado blow weapon usage, but it requires a double hit, which can be manipulated to work as such, but it's not necessarily recommended. Not to mention, most of the time, especially in casual play, you wouldn't miss anyway, so it's a generally rare occurrence. Infinite taking very much care of making sure he doesn't waste a jewel satellite, since Plugman is an exact damage boss.
All right. I will say, aside from the capsule, I think this is also the most annoying machine in this. Just for the fact that you have to bounce these eggs back into the jaw.
Yeah, this is a pretty annoying gimmick. The reason that most people use Laser Trident on this particular boss fight is mostly for its size. It's much easier to hit the eggs in such a fashion where you can bounce it back to the machine's jawline.
Yeah, also because you can just, jam it in there. So then, when you're on pretty much the second hit, you can have a backup trident just rush in to destroy it in the jaw.
That's mostly thanks to the Laser Trident being a piercing weapon. It's able to go through most enemies. Infinite using his M tank, he's out of concrete, so he's using it right now to not only refill his other weapons, but to make sure he has enough concrete to finish off this phase of the Wily Machine. All right, so Wily Machine down. Will the casino be kind to Infinite Mystery?
Pull the lever. Nope, it was not kind. It did the juke.
Yeah, this is not a kind machine. The house, yep, Mr. Cap saying it, the house always wins.
Oh, juking him again. Hate to see it. Almost there, though. And a third time. Fortunately, that time he wasn't close to him, but still. One more hit.
There
we go. All right, and with a time of 1 hour 16 and 58 seconds, Infinite Mystery has finished this race.
It actually is 1 hour and 4 minutes and 20 seconds. What Infinite Mystery did was just have a race PB of over 12 and a half minutes.
You're correct. I was looking at the second one. He sure did.
You basically pulled a me. That's something I do. But yeah, GG's to Infinite Mystery. Never giving up and finishing the race. But that we still in a best of 3 scenario. We still got one more match to take care of.
All right. So let's go and set that up.
Looks like we got our race basically set up. So we're just waiting for the near go ahead. So yeah, Mr. Cab has decided to take a little bit of a quick break. So I think I'm gonna take a short break as well. Give me some water, feel a little bit parched. But we should be ready for race 2 of our best of 3 very, very shortly, as soon as Mr. Cab returns. I also suggest some of y'all do the same. We got ourselves the barn burner over here. Take this time to get a snack, get some water, pull a cab and go to the bathroom. And like I said, we'll be right back very shortly. All right, it looks like we got our racers getting set. We're about to get to go. We got our go ahead from our runners that they are indeed ready to go. All right. The floodgates have been released. Our second match of our best of 3 is about to begin. Mr. Cab taking the first race. We're gonna see if Infinite is able to catch up a little bit and get himself a run on the board. Anything could happen. One bad run is all it takes for Mr. Cat to fall to Infinite. Just waiting for the stream to actually catch up with us.
There we go. All right, see.